action on the felt. You know, it is a strange thing to look up at.
I remember the first time he hit me with that. It was, you know,
discombobulating.
I had to walk that off, actually.
Lear really is a personality, by the way, as many of the PLO guys tend to be, you know, characters.
You're right. PLO does have.
Oh.
I'm excited for the PLOs. What feel like an eternity from now.
Well, excitement when you look down upon ace-king suited, as Lazaninkas has done.
Oh, and a big hand for Yang as well.
Yes.
Welcome, sir, by the way.
More Dior flavor, by the way, on display. The oblique print. A little Van Cleef on the wrist as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Ali.
Yeah, this is what excites me. You know,
He goes for a 3-bet, 4-bet coming, by the way, and we might have one building. We would think a 4-bet is coming, at least.
$38.
There it is.
And it's a very subtle thing, objectively, and I'm by no means saying Yang should fold, but 9-8 specifically is the worst suited connector to fight with in huge pots. For this exact reason, 10-Jack-Queen, note, we run into this one. Even something like 6-7 or 7-8 is sometimes more coveted. But again, Yang's continue blind on blind, of course, understandable. 77 in the middle.
In particular, with the benefit of position, of course, as the flop renders the flush draw, no waiting, to Wang Yang.
Interesting spot. Ace-King, still a lot of raw hand. And of course, a huge flop for Yang. Looks like he goes for just south of half. Could see going either way here for Yang. Looks like he's calling.
Yep. Quarter and 2 nickels. As another 70 brings this pot to almost 150K. Board pairing deuce is of no consequence.
You still feel hopeful with your ace-king. There are a lot of diamond draws we beat, even some ace-4, ace-5, 4-5 type of things. We fall to the major slow plays pre of the big pair variety, and of course just a 10 and some other stuff. He's going time bank, tricky spot. Raise 3-bet, 4-bet call, half pot essentially call. Deuce on the turn, just south of pot to play. Navigations aren't clear, Ollie.
Obviously, he is trying to deduce what lies with the opposition in the face of this line. And he decides whatever it is that it may not perform so well against a 50K bet.
This is quite nice. And for Yang, this is awfully tricky. One could see jam as an idea. If we have any fold equity at all, it's nice, but undercards to the 10 is unfortunate. Call certainly makes sense. And it does come in for Yang.
Building to $250,000, and while the diamond doesn't slide in, the 8 does. Disaster for this ace-king, although, Nick, that turn barrel was ever so important in terms of Lazaninkas being able to successfully barrel on the river here and represent the big pair.
But now on the river, take it, sir. Yang will see the good news, Ali.
Yeah, and that's
oh, and the bonnet comes up.
Not a great feeling. Yeah, the bonnet, you know, big pot like that will jostle it a bit. Can you get a socket infection? You
I
know,
would
there's all
think.
manner.
I
of-
would think that's something that you're not supposed to do.
It's the same level. It's the same level. Twice, yeah. I'm about to say it. But I never.
Lazo Ninkus back at it.
Ten-9 suited.
Gonna want in.
Flatting. Mindful of the under the gun positioning.
Welcome Dawood, by the way. Do you know what that flag is, Ali?
South Africa, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll take a quick peek here.
The jet is coming along 3 ways.
Indeed, by the way, confirmation coming courtesy of the Triton Poker Plus app as we see the Jack-Jack 10 yielding Jackson 10s in 2 spots. Learjet out-kicked for the time being. Of course, the 2 overs and the open-ender for Gunawan will keep him somewhat interested as it stands.
Interaction abound.
I don't know what time zone South Africa is, but my man Fazil over here on the right, not the focal point, does appear to be feeling it. Gunawan speaking up after Lazanenkis declines to c-bet. Of course, Lear in there. How weird is this now that we've checked and borne witness to a bet and a call in front of us?
It's precarious, but with the 10 Jack 9 of diamonds, just in case, let's see.
Well, bad side of the gut shot is the development for Gitis. As Gunawan does make the best hand with the king, but the unpleasant arrival of kings and queens means it is Lazauninkis who's got the best hand, as nobody holds the ace. And I believe the ace X's are certainly his to represent in this particular spot, but unnecessarily maybe, given that he holds the 9.
Sure. Take it, Lauzaninkus.
Gunawan actually rolled his hand up, I think, for a moment, thinking the 10 was.
Perhaps he
was in
saw
play.
the 10 first.
Yeah.
You good to Marriott?
Here.
Yeah.
You're saying here or the other one? Yeah. This is fine.
Yeah. I like how convenient it is.
Is
I
that
knew
a
there was another
cigar
Marriott, but I just didn't know how
clipper
close it was.
that Young is
I mean, it's like
fiddling
5
with
times the
there?
price, but probably not any different.
Can't quite see from this vantage point, but let's
I'd
see.
rather be,
Because that's a very
Yeah.
menacing
Yeah.
apparatus
Yeah.
to kind of be,
yeah.
you know, fooling about with over here. What was that? 3 bets? You know, if you like that pinky, my man, you might want to ease up on the 3 bets.
Yeah. Bullets again for Fuchs.
Wow.
Had him a while ago.
Up we go, predictably.
What do we start with? 200? Yep.
Mr. Dawood is in. And ladies for Lear.
Well, problems is probably a better way to describe them for the time being. As in particular with that flat caller between them, Lear quite happy to plunk in this 3-bet to 13,000, and now Fuchs.
If you get a coffee, I want one too.
Yes. Yes,
Heads up
please.
more inclined to
I
flat.
wasn't going to, but now I will.
3 ways, though, we put the 3-bet in more often?
I like that, Ali.
30?
In general, when we're quite deep, sometimes we put it in anyway with aces. We just sort of have to, but from a mechanical standpoint, you're
Actually, I'm just gonna
absolutely
grab a
right.
Coke.
And
I see
again,
soda
for
for
Lear,
you.
he's really walked into it, Ali. This is unfortunate.
Correction,
No.
by the way, I said 3-bet for Fuchs. It is, of course, the 4-bet to 30,000. And yeah, this is uncomfortable.
I just saw myself.
Too much hand to let go of. Maybe not quite enough to want to pile more in. So The call is made and an ace in the window was always going to be a problem for the two queens, but in reality, some mercy perhaps being shown as no club in hand.
Well said, Holly.
Lear checks it over. And Fuchs again as he fills up on the turn and leaves Lear drawing dead, is doing naughty things with the needles.
Very naughty.
You know, getting the aces dealt to us is one part of the process, but then maximizing the value we're able to obtain with them is a whole nother. And I think Fuchs has done very well on both occasions in which we've witnessed his procedures in these situations in that regard.
You're right. Top set is often so checkable. In this 4-bet line, perhaps it still remains checkable. He could have bet rather small on the flop, too, and maybe garnered one call from Lear. Now on the end with 65 in the middle. 4-bet pre. Check after Fuchs bets something. Queen's clubless. It's a bit. He goes for 20. That's really the Milky Way. And he does get paid off.
Not much else to get
It's a nice sizing choice on the end. That very
Agreed.
small. You know, you have the whole board.
You saved a lot of money.
Yeah, it's,
And that is, if
Okay,
nothing
so
else, sorry to cut you off,
No.
a logical idea. When you have the whole board, you kind of want to go small because you're targeting not amazing hands.
right.
It's a rebuy. It's small.
Make something curious. Although, you know, on balance,
do
we
it
do
once.
see people
I don't
size
think they
way
allow
up
straddles.
also in the interests of looking a bit desperate.
A
You
hard
know.
game, I suppose.
Yeah. Gottlieb, by the way, falling under the category of cash game player as well. As the rich part of the deck has begun to pay us visits here. Kings for Seth. Up front, up we go. Min-raise sizing.
Save 20,000.
As Lear lamenting his choice to make the call. Could have been a lot more expensive, though, Keith.
See if Yang can hunt him down.
8-6 tray, second pair, and peering over at the board texture. This 4K is certainly going to be seen about.
He goes for 4 into 55. And for Wang, certainly no going away. He's in.
Right. Rainbow 8 high textures when we defend the big blind is not what we're in the business of. Check folding on with second pair, which turns into 2 pair, and the Kings have issues.
They very much have issues. He goes for 15 into 13.5.
Overbet.
Let's see if Wang raises, Ali. Or elects to kind of sneak along.
Lack of a flush draw on board, obviously,
I believe he has declared raise.
you know, leaves us feeling a bit cozier about things, but nevertheless, in comes the raise to 42, and Seth
Snap
piles.
piles, and he's going to need a 3-8 or king, Holly. I believe it. It's that simple.
I mean, an under-the-gun raise on this board texture, we block 5s and 6s.
Yeah, Yang's trepidation is understandable, by the way. This is 200 big blinds. Well, if we think in terms of big blinds, check 15 into 13.5, 42 bigs, 206 bigs. You know, he's saying he has quite a hand. But I think end of the day, 6s and 5s is ahead of things like this.
Yeah, there's the call, and a massive pot suddenly develops. Gottlieb knows the Kings have themselves some issues once the call is made more often than not, and we're playing for 426,000 and change here. And the necessary King 8 or 3 does not arrive as Gottlieb wraps the table.
Rebuy.
Yep.
Take it, Mr. Yang.
Rebuy period is, of course, open here. So Gottlieb's line is whipped back over to the other table where one brews involvements for Smith, Paxton, and DeVoris. A raise and 3-bet in front of Daniel, who deliberates from the big and wisely gets out of the way.
In Asia, and at the time I was thinking, oh, I'm sure
Back
you were
over to
probably part of it.
Smith.
Have you been to Macau? Were you in Macau? Or?
Nah, I haven't been to Macau for like years and years. Oh yeah, he went to grind cash in Macau.
Yeah, he's just there full time now.
Yeah. So have you played any cash in Macau?
Yeah. I was playing
Oh,
a
you
lot,
did? Yeah.
a lot of stuff online. I'll talk to you about later. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Are you here for the whole series?
Up to 50.
Oh, that's sorry. Yeah, that's basically yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's grab some food sometime.
Good.
Smith plunks in the 4-bet, taking us up to 35,000. Now, Ike, jacks. How do we feel about it?
I think we feel like calling most of the time. And we don't feel amazing about it.
Right.
But
we're unsettled, but we are proceeding as the investment is made. Benefit of position for the jacks as it comes 8-8-3, the kind of texture that obviously doesn't usher us toward an exit just yet, in particular holding a club. And holding an inferior hand.
no, very much. Unsettled but proceeding, as you said, might be upon us once again. 74 in the middle. 118 for Dan to play, covered
30.
by Ike. And at this point, it is possible Ike decides to just live with the jacks and get on with it. Equity is to be denied, but we shall see. It isn't even sometimes that we think we have the best hand, but at a point the pot gets so big that if we continue, we just sort of... Call comes to mind as well. These are tough. And sometimes Dan only has 3 outs. It isn't as if he always has king, queen, ace, queen, and so on. Sometimes it's the ace small suited, which really is in dire shape. So Jack calling does keep an eye on a hand such as that. He does go for the call. And let's see, Ali, can Ike find a way to get away or perhaps hit the jack?
Well, the 5 of hearts is not at all pesky.
Just 60%-ish pot to play. Bit more, but we get the idea. He does put it in, and I can't love it, Ollie. This much we know.
87.5 into this 134. And you see the abacus at work.
And a lot of times when they do that look away, where they're sort of calculating, it might be Tweety birds. I've looked away and it's Tweety birds, but when Ike looks away, one gets the feeling it's, you know, some thinking going on.
Sure. One of the greatest minds of the game. Trying to construct the nature of holdings that would behave in this manner that the jacks are performing well against.
It's sort of ace-4 of clubs. Maybe an ace-king. And that's about it. Not just ace-4 of clubs, but that hand class. And then we pretty much fall to the value always. I don't think Dan 4-bets 10s pre ever. It's really a bit brutal for Ike. And you have to ask yourself which ace-kings might do this. Perhaps something like ace-king of diamonds even would lean doing this over certainly spades, but he does put it in, and he's hunting the jack, Collie.
That he is, and Smith always got the sense that the queens were good, more and more so the deeper into the tank that Haxton went. We play for 309,000. Bit of a cooler for Haxton. Smith not yet out of the woods. Got to fade the hook with one to come. And he's done so. A decimating blow being dealt to Haxton's stack, which will read 54,000 deep upon the settling of the dust. Their number has been called.
Very nice.
Call.
Jack 10-3 here.
All sorts of stuff going on. Fuchs with the nut flush draw, open ender for Lear.
Clear collision. As 4K ahead brought us to this point, and now on request is another 5 from the pre-flop raiser.
Raise declared from Lear. This could go a few different ways.
Extra 16 deposited. Pot up to 52 plus. Board pairs. Unimproved. Lear left with the option to follow through, and he exercises it. Just a casual fling of the quarter chip.
Quite casual quarter chip flung forward. And for Fuchs, I think we call.
He agrees.
Ahead of all of the straight draws, one of which we're looking at. 102.5 in the middle. And an interesting river Lear with just queen high. Card matching king queen.
And Fuchs, of course, blocking the flush draws, holding the 2 hearts, has to ask himself if the barrel comes in meaty manner.
It's a good point, Holly.
You know?
It's annoying for Fuchs to block 5-4 suited, 5-6 suited. Keith does shut it down. Likely a wise choice, although it would have been interesting had he jammed.
So a nice pickup there for Tom Fuchs, who has the chip lead here. The blinds of 1K, 2K. Didn't touch on that red table. I'm pretty sure it's not Xi'an Winter, although I do appreciate the appropriation there. Sam Greenwood at the other table. The largest of stacks. As we do pay that crew a visit first. I believe, no, I'm sorry, this is the blue table that we were just talking about. There is Jonathan Jaffe.
Jaffe's one of my favorites, a really great player with his own game.
Yeah.
Just stylistically speaking, one that isn't
Stylistically,
employed by others.
He plays
so
his
much?
own game.
Yeah. I believe this is Titan Chu here. A new arrival, if I'm not mistaken.
Welcome, sir.
I believe the first visit that TTC paid us was over in Vietnam, where Dao Min Fu, who is here in Jeju, made splashes.
Just do it. Just put it in the muck. Ah. Me?
4,000.
Oh, he wants them to play it. Yeah.
I was giving Sean time.
Understand.
No problem.
Brewer, suited 9-6 in the hijack. 8-3 off. Indefensible, deems Tony Trong.
Is this you, Chris?
No.
What is it?
First timers.
It's only false timers?
Yeah, yeah.
What did they give him? What did they give him?
I don't know. That's Joe Chalmers, I believe.
Oh. Yeah, loading them up with the old gifts.
The old gifts? That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, stuff you've seen.
Like, yeah, these are the hand-me-downs.
Pretty much.
This felt is very smooth.
Brewer,
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I like them a little warm.
observing attributes of the felt,
I like this. Sion Winter.
deeming it smooth. Yes,
Yeah, check
perhaps he's instructed us to spell it in this way. It's an alter ego. Maybe
And
he's going
this
with.
is not the start he envisioned here at the feature, Ali.
Winter is the appropriate season as the deck is cold.
I'm interested.
Paulius with the Kings.
Yeah, it's been for a long while.
Winter in a world of hurt here.
It feels nice. I'm self-conscious about wearing it.
Yeah, I have to. I won't
Yeah.
wear it here because I just think that's weird to wear the brand of whatever.
Tony not going lightly, Ali. He is gone.
Heel would be the place
As is Chuck.
Be self-conscious. I agree with that. Yeah, going to like Hard Rock is the only other place. I
Okay,
play.
now
And I just.
this is the first I'm seeing of Chuck Chu, but I gotta tell you,
If they have one that's really
I'm very into it.
I like him
I'd like to
immediately.
call that name all day.
Definitely.
No, it's a very weird message to send to the rest of the table.
Back over to Winter.
45, it's like the opposite.
Deliberations and then the declaration of 45,000, and this is a smoldering 4-bet.
Gotta wear that gear.
No, I was gonna say every meet I would obviously warm up in that gear because like you wanted them to know like.
I had a Poker Stars fleece in high school. It was my favorite fucking piece of clothes ever. Like I've never liked a piece of clothing more than the fleece I had.
But
With
yeah.
Poker Stars on it. I got 1,500.
Now the Kings taking their time, deciding how to navigate. 163 back for Winter. That's the effective amount they play for. And it's not the first time we've seen two Kings flat pre. And top set for Paulius. Holding the deck, so to speak,
I've only done a few.
as a pesky overcard to the Queens, staring Winter down.
I just enjoy talking about poker stuff.
I love it. I do like 2 webinars a month, and it just no prep involved, and just step up, and start just having a Q&A with people about poker.
I did a small amount of prep, like just because I
Quarter.
included.
And by that I mean 25,000. The sizing
I did like
from Winter. And of course, Paulius in a delightful way here.
I had to like do some work to make sure I wasn't wrong and
Yeah.
but like whatever, that was small.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think I
Indeed,
might
it gets no sweeter than
for me, this is
Paulius's
the same way, but I
situation.
take it that way, I think.
4 of diamonds on the turn. Interesting spot for Sean.
When I say things.
4-bet pre-call, quarter call.
People aren't perfect.
Yeah, mine was. This sounds weird. Mine wasn't. I was sure I wasn't.
Ahead of nines through jacks.
But I won.
Ahead of perhaps ace-5 suited. Ace-queen of diamonds.
I didn't want it to be like.
And behind the stuff that he's behind, just about pot to play. He is reaching again, Ali, and he's drawing dead.
Do we not safely remove the ace-kings from the flatting range pre, by and large, and as such maybe feel a bit more emboldened?
That's a good point. The lack of certainly all of the ace-king is emboldening.
And even the infrequency of the king-king taking the flat line, you know, roads less traveled, one could say?
That one seems a little more common, but
Okay.
fair points. And of course, for Paulius, we have such a natural slow play.
The 3, of course, would be the one card that would be unwelcome as it gets. Instead, a very safe-looking 7.
And then I'll just mention something that I think is like the most bland, like obvious thing. And someone will be like, wow, like that's so helpful.
And for Sean, with 40%-ish pot left to play, we'll see what speaks to him shortly.
Recorded content so I could get it all meticulously the way how I wanted. Did a few of those, it was a ton of work, and it came off.
He does check, and he's about to have an awfully odd decision upon him.
Mediocre popular. And then I started doing a job and said we should just do webinars.
It will all flow forward shortly,
Back and forth with people, and it just goes off the rails until whatever conversation.
one would imagine.
Good conversations. Yeah.
Which is, I mean,
And I've learned a ton because I always pull people. So I'll like, you know, maybe there's 50 people in there, and I'll say like, what do you guys do in this spot? And like 20% of the time, I'm like shocked. Oh my god, these people actually know how to play this spot really well.
There it is, a request for the remains of Sean Winter's chips. As
He puts out 175, but we can see Sean has 96,000.
Sean, by the way, 3.2 million plus in career Triton earnings, 6 cashes. His most recent appearance was a 6th place finish in a 60K 8 max in London for 370K. That was his lone cash in London across
That would work.
9 attempts.
That's a new set.
So presumably expensive stop. This actually only his 3rd ever Triton.
Suppose no diamond is Sean's friend, but still just queens. Does get away.
Yeah. And properly, mind you.
Take it, Paulius.
Begrudged, but correct, is Winter, as Paulius seeks his first ever cash here at his 2nd ever Triton Festival. Did play 6 events at our prior stop in Monte Carlo. Failed to cash in any of those. Even taken a shot at both the 125K no limit main as well as the 100K 8 max no limit. So not shy for action is the Lithuanian. By the way, a number of Lithuanians appear to have made the trip on this occasion.
They're a very strong poker country.
Dating back to the Sharunas Marshallonis days, they also can ball.
They can hoop as well,
As
Ali.
I
That's
recall.
right. You ever been over to Lithuania?
No, Latvia was as close as I got.
You know, ask for my hand.
But, you know,
as soon as I finish
Strong
my hand,
is
you
in.
don't have to be quiet.
be paying more and more
You could
visits
keep
out
it
to
going.
Riga for post-production for Triton. Perhaps a little side jaunt
There it is.
into,
Jaffe
is
in
it?
as well. 3 ways.
is it
No,
Vilnius? Is
I
the
thought
cap?
he had aces the whole time.
I digress. Ace King 5 here, both Jaffe and Trong, and for that matter, Paulius as well, making a pair. opener. Does follow up on the 4.5.
Trying to get it in free.
5 dimes on request.
Indeed he does, and Trong objectively hard to read, Ali.
You know, buried beneath both the mask and the shades.
I feel like he had like ace by suit. I thought he had ace by suit.
It's an interesting spot for Jaffe. He's weighing raise. Does come with the call. Oh, and it is the 5 for Paulius. A bolt from the blue, Ali.
Third diamond, obviously of some concern, but trip 5s are trip 5s, and with 31-5 in the middle, let's see whether or not he pursues value. He does not. Perhaps convinced that somewhere lurking in these two callers lie diamonds.
I wouldn't say convinced, but it is very real.
Relieved perhaps by the check back from Trong. And now a very innocent looking 4 of spades. Completing the board. Might Jaffe have presumptions that ace 10 is a winner? The answer isn't no, just by virtue of the fact that he is checked, but taking the conservative line. And I don't think continuing conservative procedures are warranted here from Paulius, and he seems to agree as the value bet does come in. The worst feeling here is when you look at that 4 and you think, okay, I faded the diamonds on the turn, you barrel and the raise comes in and you're wondering what on earth is afoot.
And Jaffe is your customer for a what on earth is afoot kind of thing. Odd spot for Jaffe after the turn check. And he does do it.
You know, I didn't suspect.
He really is one of my favorites, and that is a nice ace to have, blocking ace 5, representing amazing hands. It does matter down to the last detail. Perhaps Paulius opens ace 5 off in the cutoff, but these ideas are real. And for Paulius, it's the exact situation you mentioned, Ali. And what a difficult one to navigate it is.
Could have asked me to be quiet, and I could have told you you do this every time, and we could have like yelled at each other back and forth. Would have made like kind of good TV, I think.
You guys, like, it wasn't you. It was more so him. I
believe he has paid it off, Ali.
Yeah.
We'll see the good news.
And the payment coming in the form of Jaffe, and to the tune of 95,000 there on the river. Gave it.
These tournaments, and you know, it just kind of adds to the culture. Sergio Ido here as well. Welcome, sir.
Ido, Spanish legend. They roll deep as well. You know, we kind of praise the Lithuanians, but the Spaniards are legendary, dating all the way back to the days of El Matador.
That's
Carlos
right.
Mortensen,
That's right, Ali.
former World Series of Poker main event winner. And I'm sure others that maybe predate us. Gottlieb, frisky with the suited connector. Lear playing the ace-jack as a flat, and now Li Yuan. Red kings. Love to see it out of the big, squeeze available. 3 scoops up to a quarter.
Oh, Gottlieb giving action.
That he is. This is very cash game vibes.
Very much cash game vibes, and let's see if Lear continues the trend of games of the night.
Again, we return to the ace-jack being one of those really pesky combinations.
It's very pesky. Lear agrees. Heads up, Ali. 58.5 in the middle.
On this occasion, of course, the ace was safe, but often it is not in such exchanges. Oh, my.
Go on, Seth.
Gottlieb smashing trips here up against the Red Kings. Problems for Yuan. No, almost level stack depths, ever so slightly ahead. By 3K is Yuan.
Veritable snap from Gottlieb.
Sure. Very little to be concerned about here for Seth. The 9 doesn't really rate to be a part of that big blind 3-betting range for Yuan. Gottlieb still feeling cozy with 7s full.
He's feeling very cozy, and Yuan is likely feeling deceptively cozy. This check isn't necessarily predicated on fear. Note Seth with the snap check back.
Oh my goodness, though, this third 9 on the river, and the most improbable of scenarios, as the Kings now are best. Counterfeiting trips.
That they are,
on
Ollie.
the
A
flop.
bizarre run out. Takes a moment for one to gather themselves, but indeed they are.
This is when one reaches for the sick bag. A jam here, you see Gottlieb, yeah.
That is really something. Shows the 7, Ollie. No, Yuan doesn't react at all. That's icy there.
Did he even look up at it?
No, just...
That was a bit icy if
He
you
could
saw the
care
7.
less.
I mean, you know.
Zero acknowledgement.
He's a bit breathless out there right now, Nick, if I had to guess. I kind of know my guy. You know him, too. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
He's boiling beneath the surface a little bit. Listening to Seth say he doesn't play PLO, and then suddenly it comes to light that he won a Triton PLO tournament.
By the way, another pair of bullets for Hecklin and Big Slick for Lear. My word.
I believe.
At least he doesn't have to listen to Gottlieb anymore.
I mean, this is cold.
Thankfully, he's just barely covered. And for Yuan with ace-queen off, we just saw this scenario from Orpin a moment ago. He's going time bank. Fold and 4-bet seem on the table.
Word has come down, by the way, in the chat from C. O'Wheel that Mr. in Danish is herre.
That's what I'm saying. So
it is tricky. You're
that's
right. I was going to say hair, like H-E-I-R, but I know that's German. Anyway,
let's see.
Herr Hecklin, yeah.
Yes. Say it one more time, Ollie.
I want to say it's herre.
You're a wild man.
H-E-R-R-E.
You really are just something.
Apologies, by the way. If
no,
I'm
you're great with
Danish.
pronunciation. I mean, at least you go for it, you know.
Yeah. On the top.
We do have a snap jam.
Yep.
Good luck, gentlemen. Lear in all sorts of dire straits.
This was just a preordained sort of affair and a smirk. Also a measure of disgust there for Lee. It's ace king, guys.
And a nice 4-bet from Hecklin, by the way. I know he has aces, so of course this isn't so above the rim.
No, but didn't get cute.
It's easy to always get cute when you have aces, but sometimes we just get it in pre. What's better than that?
Right. Now, by the way, if somehow this ace king falls the aces,
well, he's going
here,
mic off.
That's what I'm saying.
Really like
super tilting if you lose with the aces to the ace king. I don't know. Okay, it looks safe here.
Got the duck 4 working for the chop, but
take it all off the board. No queen, no
GG,
jack.
sir. Perhaps we'll see you shortly.
No shot for Lear as a healthy pot is being bestowed upon Herr Hecklin. I think Lear might have paid 15. I mean,
go on, JNT.
Indulgence is here, perhaps just tired of watching Orpin soak it up.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get poker tournaments back in Macau, and I was like, all right, buddy, like, you say so.
Now, I don't want to put anybody on blast, so I won't.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know where you go from there, but
no, listen.
another
As
ace
I'm
king for
observing
Yuan.
the
Yes?
massage therapist come in here, rumors swirling about 6-figure gratuities that were handed out to multiple massage therapists.
My word. In
On
the
this
cash?
trip.
On this trip already?
On this trip already.
We've just begun.
That we have. By the way, if one of them registers, I think we're
By
going to
the
know
way,
who the
we have
recipients
some
were.
poor timing, and it's always awkward to hand one of the massage. Perhaps the queen comes in.
Yuan peering over at JNT's remaining stack, and the jam comes in. I would imagine JNT didn't drop 75 of his 170 in there with the intention of stepping aside, and indeed, just for the sake of the massage continuations, one would hope, let's say for a chop. Obviously, I'm not anti-sweating Li Yuan, but
Understood, understood, Ollie. 353 in the middle. Good start for Yuan.
Spade coverage. Way the best of it.
Chop, chop.
Now, opportunities as the board does pair. 6 or an 8 would do the trick. A queen is a clean winner. And instead, it is the 3. So,
GG, sir. See you shortly.
Yes, yes.
see, this is where I look back at the massage therapist and I'm like, what sort of evil did you anoint me with just here? What? I'm kidding. And that'll do it for JNT's time here at the feature table as we bid him adieu. His remains being absorbed by Li Yuan, who surges into the chip lead here at this feature.
No, don't worry. It's fine. No, it's fine. No.
Yeah.
Every table will have like one seat with the sticker. JNT reserved.
Yeah. That's true. It's like a, yeah.
Ladies for Hecklin. Card racking a little bit. And also exuding the usual spirited play. 3s for Greenwood in the cutoff. He's in.
Look at the mischief on Seth Gottlieb. He just, you know, he doesn't want to get left out of a party.
It's a bit mischievous. 5-4 off for Orpin, closing the action. He's in as well. 4 ways, Ali.
Rare affair. King 10 tray, bottom set for Greenwood as the queens have been downed in 2 spots. Gottlieb with top pair and issues.
Very much issues for Gottlieb, issues for Hecklin, for that matter, somewhat. And the dream for Greenwood, bottom set.
3 checks in front of him here, including from Hecklin, who opened this pot. And he will sprinkle 8,000 into 31 in an effort to find out what's what. Oh, and Gottlieb playing the King 6 as a check raise, perhaps understandably sensing that Greenwood is position probing here.
Well, he's not position probing, so to speak, but yes, thoughts like this are circulating through Seth's mind. He does have the back door, that's nice. But Kings with a 6, it's a bit dicey.
Never one to shy away from the high variance approach is Seth. And look at Sam going to give him some rope here. The flat call. And now A third king on the turn, of course. Greenwood full but vulnerable, and Seth plays it as a follow-up check.
That's interesting, Ali. Something of a pseudo trap. I don't think he has now decided he's just beat. And for Greenwood in this line where he goes for check, raise, check, see what speaks to him? We certainly want to allow a hand like Jack-9 to see the river.
22.
He goes for the just quite small bet. And for Gottlieb, let's see, in regards to call or raise.
This will certainly inform us of what his intentions were. As you see, the flat call still a bit merging.
Oh,
and the
when it
6
comes
on
in.
the end. Runner, runner, kings full for Seth Gottlieb as one pair downs the set.
The deck giveth and the deck taketh. The 9-9 run out was vicious, but this run out is equally joyous.
This deck is replete with sorcery. And on this occasion, it is Greenwood the victim of it.
And if Sam goes for something like 80 or 90, he has a very awkward one coming up. If he just puts him in, he doesn't have to face the check raise. You'll see the bad news, Ali.
Yeah, you see a quick
You saw the
wince.
little wince. Indeed you did. That's a cold run out there, my word.
Can't stop me. Lucky. I was worried about it, that's why I only called
And Greenwood was the covering stack.
That was a bingo bango run out. Bingo bango.
I wouldn't have given him that much more. When he called the flop, I called the turn for pot control. I was not slow playing.
He did the same mistake.
I'm looking around for cauldrons,
Yeah, I should have just
brooms,
shoved the block.
and perhaps a cackle on the back end of that one. Stone witchcraft.
Indeed.
All these TV setups, aces versus kings, both will both.
Well, let's go over to the other featured table where hopefully there's a bit more order in the universe just for the sake of all parties involved. Razor here was Paulius, knocking on the door of 700,000 to start this one. The Queen Jack got flat called in 2 spots. Brewer waking up with the red queens and now making it 31,000. And of course, with each successive flat caller behind the opener, one begins to wonder whether or not this isn't more associated with the squeeze than a real hand. No matter, as nobody's interested in proceeding at that price. And
You guys are really...
we have proceeded clear past 179 entries for an all-time record at a Triton Super High Roller Series event. 183 entries and counting, and of course, with multiple levels still open for re-entry. We're only going to build upon that number.
I mean, you haven't really had anything better than 9.
It's one thing to have a feeling, but it's another to see it set
Yeah.
in stone. Bravo, everybody. Viva Triton.
That was the first time? I feel like it's been every time.
You know, you and I share a mutual acquaintance who kind of had a sixth sense that perhaps this was a stop not to be missed, and 11th hour was inquiring as to whether or not there were flights that
Go
could
ahead,
get him
Ali.
over here.
A lot more win when they do.
Makes sense.
I think those that fail to make the trip might be regretting it right about now.
Who are you referring to, by the way?
Our buddy Was.
Ah, yes, Ewas, my favorite.
Behind Chuck Chu, of course.
Correct.
Ace 8
Three
suited
bet from
open here.
Constantine.
Yeah.
It started out wrong. The game started out wrong.
Those are the guys who are more action when they're up. Those are the funny ones.
I just sort of
Those are a unique breed.
auto-expected MAGA text
Those are the guys who, like, when they're losing, they
on
don't wanna lose too much. When they're
Constantine's
winning, they
hat
wanna see how much they can win.
when I first observed the red, and yet
It is that color scheme.
it's the king. You know, I'm not sure. Should I go to that website?
No, I played 501K.
Just you know, quick look see.
Chew is in.
Is that kot-mtt.com?
I was thinking
I suspect it's poker related.
and when I played with it, I played some in LA. Yeah.
Spades working for Chuck.
I thought you were saying Tampa.
Middle pair top kicker for Constantine.
He just likes to gamble.
43.5 in the middle, 105 left to play.
That's kind of
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's true.
Not the quick glance over at Chuck.
Saw that.
Then the check back with second pair. Chu does pick up the gut shot straight draw now to go with spades. This is a lot of hand. Incomplete but promising. And will it be enough to perhaps inspire a turn lead? No.
You own something you're renting?
I'm on the site, by the way. Had to invoke Google Translate to get the Russian descrambled.
What part?
But,
Golden City now.
Oh, not a particularly good card for Chew.
Still, I mean, my place is big on nicer than it was in the city, obviously, but still
hits
cute.
the ace after Maslach checks back 2 streets as the pre-flop 3-better.
It's a little bit weird for Chuck. We feel not great about that ace, especially in this line.
Bigger ace Broadway combos and the king queen.
It really looms. Nines are possible. It's just hard to find hands we beat in this 3-bet pre-check down ace river line.
This would really be an impressive, not to overhype it, but the discipline involved in check folding to this barrel here would signify kind of upper crust thought processes here.
Oh, he is cradling like they're going. Very
Yeah.
nice, Chuck.
Yeah.
Sniffed it out.
That he did. And
Very well.
I, of course, have sniffed